There's a bunch of fans on here asking why you never got into pro wrestling. You actually did do pro wrestling in
Yeah.
Japan. I was wondering if you could briefly tell us some of the highlights of your wrestling career.
So funny stories. Let me tell you that. So in Japan, I did pro wrestling, yes, and it was for New Japan. And New Japan, they do the strong style. For the people at home, what that means, they use real submission moves. That's why Sakuraba, for instance, became a really good fighter, because it was not just pro wrestling here in America. You hold the arm and that's somehow a move. No, those are using real submission moves. And I loved it. I got really great reviews also. Somebody called me Lou Thesz. He's like a younger Lou Thesz. And I go, who's Lou Thesz? And my buddy said, did they say that? Yeah. He says, dude, that's one of the best guys ever. So that means you're doing really well. So I had a really good time doing it. I tell you one story. It's a funny story because it's the first show I did in Tokyo Dome. Don Fry is in my corner. So what happens is you choreograph, right? You know that you open, the opening is choreographed, the middle part is choreographed, and then the end is choreographed. And the rest you ad lib, so to say. You just go with the things, and you have an arm bar, and you play around. So what was going to happen is that the first guy was going to throw me in the corner right away from the start. Go fight. He would throw me in the corner, would give me an elbow, would give me another elbow, and then he would go to the audience, and then he would drop me with an elbow, and I would take an 8 count. That was the script. Now, I don't know what these guys, the Japanese guys, talk among themselves. Maybe in the dressing room they say, hey, watch this. I'm going to fight Bas Rutten, the UFC guy. I'm going to really hurt him. I don't know if they say that, right? Because there's always a little bit of animosity between people. So with that in my head, he throws me in the corner. He gives me an elbow. It was perfectly timed. The second elbow was harder. Also, on the fourth elbow, he was going to drop me. The third elbow was the direct hit. It was a full-on hit. And I go, book! And right away, my automatic reflex jumps in. So I palm strike him. And he's out. And now it's just the opening of the fight. It just knocked the guy out. And I'm looking at Don Fry. He's in the corner like, oh, shit, what happened now, And the referee is looking at me, and he starts walking around the guy. And he goes, 1. And he walks around him the whole time, 2. And then finally, he started waking up. And then we continued our onslaught or our fight. But it was cool. It was 55,000 people in the Tokyo Dome to perform in front of a live audience. I had some really great matches. There's some matches that we're still trying to find that they did like the Matrix. They had I go to 300 cameras. And there's this moment that I kick somebody in the head, poof, and they freeze it. And then it goes 360 around. Just like I'm standing still and all the cameras go around and then poof, I knock him out. And they did it also with the knee that a guy sits on his knees on one foot. I run to him, I step on the knee, and I do a flying knee on his face. And dude, it was so cool when I saw, because I hit the knee, then it goes 360 around, and then the guy gets knocked out. They actually thought that I was hitting these guys for real, but I did a lot of demonstrations in Holland, like kicking cigarettes out of the mouth and all that stuff. So I got really good timing. So some fights, you look. I had some fights that some people posted about, dude, this guy, you knocked him out. I said, that's actually pro wrestling. I didn't touch him. You hear the impact, but there was no power behind it. So that's what I always enjoyed, and talking to the people, and these great people also, those pro wrestlers, hanging out with China at the time. She was there one time. Remember, unfortunately, she passed away. She was hilarious. Jody was her name. The Steiner brothers, Rick Steiner and Scott Steiner, dude. And then, of course, Don Fry. Don Fry is always is a blast to hang out with that guy. So having all these guys together, the pro wrestlers coming in from America, they're in Japan. It's a good time, man. It's a good time. I remember I was sitting one time. It was Scott Steiner. There's Scott, I believe, is the big one. And I think Rob Steiner is his brother, who's the smaller guy. But Scott Steiner. And I remember I was sitting by myself in the dressing room. And I'm watching TV. And I realized that if I do with my tongue this, and I look at the TV gets distorted. It starts moving. And I go, and then Scott Steiner walks up. He said, what are you doing? I said, do this. I said, look at the screen and do this. And he looks at me and he goes like, stop doing drugs, boss. Stop doing drugs. And he walks away, right? So then later I'm by myself and I'm sitting in a chair that moves around. And I'm so bored. I'm waiting for the fights and I'm moving around. I'm just playing around like I'm in a freaking Star Wars game and using the chair as a mobile and I'm shooting things. And suddenly when I turned to the door, Steiner stands there again. He looks at me, goes, "I told you, stop doing drugs." And then he walked away again. So it was a fun moment.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month to watch our full shoot interviews ad-free and help our channel grow. Follow us on Twitter at the Hannibal TV for instant updates.